Okay, thought I'd give you an update on the bus. You can see I got the rear valance tacked in. I still got to go back through and finish weld that seam. You can see some cracks in it. I ended up spraying the inside with a Honda color. It does not match my original, cool Volkswagen blue, but it's in the engine bay and it's not a red carpet restoration. So there's my goop seam sealer around the patches where I filled in inside the engine bay. Rust took care of all the rust. Here's the other one. The battery tray is good. The 2-liter motor off the Vanagon went perfectly into the 75. It was a little tight. I'll show you the headache I had. A couple things. I put it on. I just used an ATV stand I got from Harbor Freight to put it in there. This is my bracket. So this is the one headache, is that you need an alternator bracket for the square heater boxes. When you bolt up a Vanagon motor, it has square port heads, so you need heater boxes off the 79. But the real headache is this oil filler tube. So I swapped out the oil filler tube on my 75, and if you look, let's see if I can get the light to cast in there. You can see that little rubber, there it is, that little rubber gasket, which is basically the dipstick filler tube. You can see the dipstick runs down and goes through that little rubber grommet into the base of the oil filler tube. Well, this tube is longer and sticks out too far, so you have to remove it, and I had it on the engine stand and was putting it in when that happened, and the engine member cross brace gets in the way, so I had to basically spin it around out of the way, disconnect that little rubber grommet, and you can see, and then horseshoe it back up in there. You can see the bottom of my new valance. It's got a dent in it, a divot in it. You can see that bow. It's my own fault. I should have had my dad take this piece of face metal and put a 90-degree bend on the bottom. But like I said, it looks decent from a distance. It's gonna get covered up by a bumper, and as far as I care for what this thing is gonna be, this is my beach RV, baby. So that's the progress. I got all the gas lines hooked up, fuel lines are hooked up. Brake booster line is connected. I'm not sure if that decel valve is on the bracket backwards or not, but I've got to splice in a vacuum tube off of that. And what else? No, that's it. I've got to just hook the wires up to the coil. Oh, you have to take the coil off too to get that in. Maybe that's typical, I don't know. I don't remember taking it off when I dropped out the old 75 motor, but that's the way it is. So my next project is to finish connecting the motor, fire it, see if it goes. I've got a sweet new muffler parked behind that rag. It's gonna go on. It'll bolt right up, and fire it, and then if that works, then I'm in business, and then I can start working on this bumper bracket. I had to rebuild this tower. It turned out pretty good, actually. It's pretty straight, and so I have to re-drill a hole in the bottom of that plate and weld a nut in that goopy section to get that cleaned up, and then I'll end up having to fix, you can see where that line, this line, right, show me, this line comes in from the fender and comes over, and then my valance steel, I cut it to have a bend on it, and then I just got greedy, so I'm going to end up grinding that off, cutting that piece of sheet steel off all the way along. That'll give me a nice straight line, which is cool. Anyway, so putting the Vanagon motor in the 75 Westie turned out pretty good. So far so good. I'm pretty happy with it. We'll see when it fires up if I'm really happy with it. Anyway, interior still looks like shiza. Canvas is good though. Yeah, you can't see anything in here. What else? Coming around, give you the big view. Back up, back up. Anyway, I've got to do the fenders, and I still have to do the the rockers. That's what I'm talking about. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this hole up here in the front of the fender. I'm probably gonna patch that with fiberglass. Just because like I said, this is not a red carpet restoration. Anyway, my other plan was to lower it a little bit. My wife is not interested in that. She does not want the bus on its face, although I think it would look tasty. It is kind of nice to have an Oregon bus that you can take out in the mountains a little bit and bomb in the beach. And because it has that propane tank that hangs down low, that is the reason not to slam it. Although I could hide the propane tank under the rear seat. So, that is that. See if we get better. Yeah, you can't really see anything. I did seam seal up in there, and I have all the old furniture in good shape. So we'll see what I end up putting back in. Anyway, thanks.